Okay.
I think Gage Donovan might be joining.
His dad messaged me that he's still in school, him and Wyatt, so they asked me to record it.
Oh,
Um, and then I told him, and it same goes for the rest of you guys too. If you guys want individual one-on-one video and I can clip stuff for you guys, I'm happy to do that. But I offered that to them as well. So okay, so first thing, just kind of outlining some key points in this meeting and things that we're going to talk about, right? So number one, there's two ways to create offense in the offensive zone. Number one is attacking off of forecheck, right? So creating turnovers off of our forecheck. They have possession. We basically steal the puck and then we get on the attack, right? So we're going to go over a little bit of that. The second is through poise and playmaking with the puck. Some key points in that you're gonna hear us talk about is moving the puck north south, moving the puck east west, and basically getting the other team to move their eyes and find openings in that space while they're shifting their D zone coverage. Right, we want them puck watching. We want them focused on what we're doing. The best way to do that is to get that puck moving north south east west, whether that's a point pass or that's a carry the puck below the goal line and across the or behind the net. But we want those D zone coverages having to shift because as they're shifting, holes open up, and we're gonna see some of that in some of these clips. Um, and then last but not least is what kind of tactics, right? So what kind of habits can we implement that are going to maximize your guys' ability to create offensive plays? So how are you protecting the puck? How are you moving off the puck to make sure that we have options? Are we a possession based team first, or are we going to be a team that's run and gun and get pucks to the net? Ivan, yeah, you don't need to have your camera on, buddy, but I appreciate you being here. So, like I said, if you have any questions as we go through it, can everyone see my YouTube page?
yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so Pete DeBoer, obviously NHL coach, very, very good. He's going to make some talking points about how do you create time and space and poise with the puck.
Space. This is what I believe about ozone time. Our job is to look at the other team, find out what they're doing, have a plan to create time and space for our offensive players, and then let their instincts take over. And that's the sell to them. Listen, you go here, we get the puck back, we'll spread them out, and then you let your instincts take over. Then you do what you do best. Then you've got to stop coaching. That's where the coaching ends in the ozone. Okay? Once you
So obviously, just to reiterate, and if you guys are taking notes, that's a really, really key point to what we're going to be talking about, right? So number one, recognize what the other team is doing, recognize what their D zone coverage looks like or where the spots on the ice that they're really good at covering and find ways to move the puck away from those spots. Number two is creating time and space. So how do I create time and space? How do I have the ability to make plays and find soft spots of the ice where there's no coverage? And then three, that's when your guys' instincts and your offensive ability takes over, right? So that's the checklist items that you go through as you're trying to create offense in the offensive zone.
created that space and that time for them to make plays, then their instincts take over. Okay. We also have to identify and sell to our group where the goals are scored at the toughest time of year. And that's what I just touched on about early season compared to late season and playoffs. Everyone talks about the difference between in the NHL between early in the season or regular season and playoffs. It actually starts probably post trade deadline down the stretch. I don't think the game changes that much. What happens is everybody dials into the details. The importance of the games go to here. The players see the finish line of the playoffs there. And all of a sudden, you've got the best players in the world are caring about every detail on the ice. D zone, neutral zone, away from the puck. That's why the game gets tougher. Yeah, it gets heavier, it gets more physical, but the detail in everybody's game goes up another level. So there's less room, less time for all those things. Okay, so I'm gonna talk a little bit about some of this stuff. Here's some concepts. I'm sure some of you guys have heard this before. We're gonna watch here This is one of the, I've had the pleasure of coaching Jaromir Jagr, the best in the business at puck protection. Okay. This guy, Tommy Hurdle, probably the second best player I've ever coached. Not an accident. He's a Czech player. I think it's a little bit in their DNA and their development model. But this is the first concept you have to teach in the offensive zone. You have to get the puck back and you have to hang on to it. And this is a teachable thing. And this is something you can work on in practice and scheme your practices around. Puck protection. So we're watching Tommy right here. Okay. Up, ass out. Boom, puck protection. Now, the second thing, again, teachable. These are the two most teachable things, and that's why I'm starting with this clip. Get the puck and hang on to the puck, and then when you have room, attack this area of the ice. And players don't want to go there. Okay, that's where it's ugly and nasty, and there's big bodies, okay, and it's physical. You've got probably a couple guys on every team that like going into that area, and then a whole lot of guys that don't, that have to be pushed into that area. So get the puck back, protect it, and then when you do have a little room, go to that area of the ice.
Okay, so as we saw in that demonstration from Hurdle, right? The first thing that we have to get, and I think this is a huge concept, and I'll show you guys in our clips. But a huge concept that we struggle with is that when you get possession of the puck, it's okay to hold on to it for a half second and make plays, right? So as you see, he gets this puck in the corner. He starts to walk up the wall and try to create some time and space for himself. When he recognizes that the defense is coming to him, he then protects the puck and puts his body in between the two guys. Now, obviously, he gets a little reverse hit in, which opens up this space, right? But the concepts are this: we get the puck, we move our feet with the puck, right? Whether it's a one stride, two strides, doing that is going to slow things down for your teammates and for you, and it's going to give you an extra second to make a play, right? A lot of times we rush to try to throw a guy open, and where we rush to throw a guy a puck in traffic instead of just holding on to it and making a play, right? So it's not always about how quick you can transition onto the attack. Sometimes it is, and we'll talk about that, especially coming off of forecheck stuff. But right now in this situation, in this game, right, it's a 3-on-3 down low. It's really about maintaining possession of the puck. We want to hold on to the puck, right? The secondary piece of this that's so good is that as soon as he eliminates his defender, he's getting his feet moving to the middle of the ice, and his teammates are also getting their feet moving to the middle of the ice. Everybody's going to that danger zone because that's where the puck is headed, right? So again, concept is get the puck, hold on to it. Find a way to protect it if you're under pressure. If you're not under pressure, find a way to move your feet to space. Secondary is once you see an opening to the middle, take it, right? Move your feet into that space. And these guys need to be doing the same thing, trying to find space in these back doors or a screen. Okay, let's go into, I want to talk about, especially because this is exactly how Faith Lutheran plays, right? I want to talk about how we get defensive structures to shift, right? Because again, the openings are going to happen when that defensive structure has to shift, right? And so this is an example of
So really nice
taking
play
that
there
puck
by the
down
corner
low.
Panthers. The next clip we're going to see
You don't need to hear this guy talk.
against the New York Rangers. This time it's not going to be.
Okay, so basically what he's talking about, right, is that we get the puck here, and what you're going to see is instead of us, the normal play that Edison Hockey would make, D2, is I'm going to try to force it to this guy in a bad shooting spot, right? The play that I'm challenging us to start to do is hold on to that and start to move your feet down the wall into space. Find options that open up and give your teammates a extra second to get on the same page, right? The secondary thing that happens when you start to move your feet, especially in this circumstance, he's starting to move his feet behind the net. You see how D zone structure is nowadays, right? This is exactly how Faith Lutheran is going to defend. They collapse low, they smother in the corner, and they get all their guys on top of the puck. So even if I get this puck to this guy here, I got one guy, I got two guys, this guy probably marks up his guy in front. This is a very, very congested area. So our job is to find a way to spread that defense out or get them puck focused. And as I think it's Connor starts to move down the wall, as he starts to move down the wall, you'll see, right? They all start to go and panic and look at him. So now we have all these guys puck watching, which I think he shows with arrows here. They start to shift, right? They're starting to look there and starting to lose sight of space in the middle of the ice. As that puck shifts behind the net, now you're starting to see that defensive shift that we want. We want this guy to have to go, oh crap, I got to get to the front. This guy's setting a nice pick. This guy's shifting. Every one of their players is now having to shift positions. And when you're worried about in the D zone, and we've all been in this spot, when you're worried about moving into the correct D zone position, you are not as good at finding open players and figuring out where the lanes are, right? And it gives that offense an advantage to find space, find a way to get that puck in a dangerous area. Right now, the same concept works moving it this way, right? If I'm going to move that puck up to the D, all these guys are going to have to shift. They all shift. And when they're shifting, their eyes are also shifting and watching this puck carrier, right? So if this defenseman has this puck, this guy has to shift. This guy has to come up. Now, while those guys are shifting their focus, this guy is going to find that open space here, maybe come underneath and get a tip option. But again, it has to be with poise from this player. This player is not going to get the puck and then just throw it while all these guys are still locking up their guys. He's got to start to walk and create some movement that shifts that structure around and gives us openings to make plays. Okay. Any questions on any of that?
No, I think I got it. I think the main thing that I noticed is that like when they start collapsing down low, I feel like the defense would be a better option than like trying to force anything like when they're collapsed.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, obviously this is the NHL, right? These are the highest level players in the world. Them feathering in a pass right here is going to work for them way more often than it's going to work for us. This is the obvious play because he's wide open and they're collapsed. But I wanted to show more of what the defense is doing when we take that puck east-west. How do they shift and open things up? How do we get them to shift? And it's by moving that puck into those spaces. If we keep pucks in the corner, right, it's really easy to defend because it's first of all just geometrically you're closed off, right? You have less options. Second is everybody knows how to defend in the corner. D goes body, center goes support. I don't really have a lot of room for movement. So getting that puck east west behind the net, moving that puck up the half wall is going to create those soft spaces in D zone coverage where it's now two guys' option. If you're behind the net, which defenseman goes? If you're at the half wall, is it the winger or the defenseman that challenges with the center? Those kinds of decisions are really, really hard to read in real time. And that's when you see defenses really start to like get on their heels and you'll start to see things open up through that. Okay. The last concept that we're going to talk about, and this is different, right? This is almost the opposite of what we're saying. Because what we're saying in here, when we have possession, is that we want to hold on to the puck and move our feet to space, right? When you get the puck on a forecheck, it's very different because what's happening or what's different when we have the puck in possession in the D zone, how is that defense playing it differently than if we're forechecking them?
They're just trying to get it up to their wingers rather than trying to make sure that we don't go to the net.
Exactly, right? When they're trying to break out, they're not playing defense, right? They're playing offense. So when you let's say it's a normal breakout situation, this guy, this defenseman gets a puck here. Obviously, ignore all these players and just follow my cursor. If this defenseman has the puck here, this winger is going to get to the wall. The next guy is going to start to swing his route, center route. Is that where the winger is going to stand in D zone coverage?
No.
No, right? They're going to be over in here making sure that we're not giving up space in the middle of the ice. So the difference is that when you have possession in zone, the team is established in their D zone structure. When we go on the forecheck, it's different. They're playing offense. So what we take advantage of is that we now get the puck. Their team has to transition now from offense to defense. That transition period, right, where they have to make that mental adjustment and get to a different space is what we take advantage of, and we go on the attack quick, right? So different. Poised and possession is the name of the game when we have in zone time. A quick attack is the name of the game when we're talking about forecheck turnovers, right? So here's a video.
Really quick, do you think like to kind of create that like defensive like scramble or like transition of them like going like on to different sides of the ice when we have the puck, do you think we could do stuff like rim the puck like entering the zone to like have the other whoever go pick it up, or just stuff like that, or just kind of like what are options like that we could do to like get
So
that defensive switch?
so you're talking about so we're entering the zone and you need some sort of like dump in because you're under pressure, and so now you're dumping in and you're going on the forecheck.
Or just kind of like any type of like, because like I feel like we know that like now that we have to like get from one side to the other, or like to have the defense like scramble in a way, but like kind of options of what that looks like, like what like where should support be, like where should like we should be looking at or something like that.
So the number one option, best option is to carry the puck into those spaces. If you're completely under pressure and being pinned, right? Then we're talking about support, which we'll talk about in some of the clips that I have of the Edison game. That is now you're moving those pieces to be an option for your teammates. But a weak side rim, 100% of the time, like you can use that all day long. Area passes are some of the most underused and most important parts of hockey because you're putting that puck into a space that now that the structure has to shift. Now, the biggest thing that you have to get on the same page with each other is I have to know that if Moni has the puck in the left corner over here, that if he's under pressure, he's going to rim it to this weak side corner. I have to know if I'm this guy that I'm going to be going and getting that puck. So that is just a matter of us getting on the same page. But yeah, area passes and moving that puck to different parts of the zone that have space is 100% a huge, huge thing that you can do that's going to open things up, right? So like when we talk about this clip, and all of these defenders are here. Let's say Connor is under more pressure, right? And all these guys are here. Him throwing that puck into this space, this guy's going to win that race or at least get some time and space. Now this defenseman comes over and we can make a play. That's 100% okay, right? We want to get that puck spread out. If we have the ability to skate it, that's the better option because you're going to obviously be able to, if the puck is on your stick, you're going to be able to find guys way better than if you have to go chase a puck down. Now we get possession. Now we set up, right? So, second option being rim or area pass, 100% there. I agree. I think that's a great tactic to use. If you don't have pressure, if you've created some time and space for yourself, take it with your feet, right? Don't turn the puck over, put your puck into a 50-50 when you already have it on your stick in time and space. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Yep. Okay, so
Players Club. We are going to show you some clips.
couple forechecking examples.
Some goal.
Hear this guy talk. Couple forechecking examples, and what this really requires is anticipation on our part, right? So again, intentional with this dump in, right? That's something that I think every team can get better at. Is you're not just dumping in to dump in. You're putting that puck into a space that now this guy has a good 50-50 chance of creating some contact or creating some havoc for those defensemen, right? So as this guy is going in and we're on the forecheck, right? Their forecheck is looking like something like a passive 2-1. This is where we need to get better, right? Is as soon as you recognize that this guy is under pressure here and that puck comes here, we have to recognize that the middle of the ice is open. Again, I talked about it when teams are going into a breakout or they're going to support a defenseman to get up ice, they tend to get out perimeter. They want to get the puck out perimeter and they have a lot of space here. So when you create that turnover, you have to attack that space off the puck. And it takes a lot of anticipation and courage from the guy up here to step down into this space, right? Especially if like you're a defenseman. Defensemen are gonna, we're taught since we're 10 years old, you're the backstop. You got to make sure you're holding the blue line. You got to stay on the blue line. No, the idea is we're on offense, 5-man unit. We want to get players into this space. So as soon as that turnover happens, I'm attacking that space. Where was this guy standing? On the wall, waiting for a breakout pass. So now that gives me an opportunity to get an inside step on him. It's a quick pass here, and then boom. Now, what you see off the puck, even when that puck moves up to that guy, every single player is still moving. So this guy stops, puts on the brakes to try to give a pass option. This guy swings around and he gets net front. This guy starts moving to the net to create some sort of rebound opportunity because this is where the puck is going, right? Off of forecheck, that is the mindset is we are going to attack the middle of the ice. We are going to attack the net. Everybody is moving in a way that gets them there, right? Now this guy's kind of lazy and he stays outside, but again, everybody is moving to this spot. Everybody is engaged to the play. They're making things happen to get the puck to the middle of the ice, right? Again, another example. I think that's Ovi. Ovi puts the body on a guy. Again, we attack that space, right? This guy is waiting up in here for that breakout. If this breaks down, we're on the forecheck. It's going here. He's going to go. As soon as he recognizes that Ovi is in a 50-50, I'm going to start to cheat and move my way. As soon as I see this guy get it, I hit a burst of speed into the middle of the ice, and we take advantage of that with a quick pass and a shot. Right now, the caveat to that is if you do not have that quick option. So we talked about when we have possession in the ozone, we want to hold on to it. We want to make calculated, smart plays. We don't want to force things, right? In this situation, it's more of a rush play. Like it's quick, like take advantage of transition, right? But if you do not have that pass, it's important that we don't force, right? Obviously, this guy is wide open. I'm going to hit him. If he's covered in this situation, I'm going to want to move that puck into this space. And now I'm creating more of a possession style attack versus a quick transition attack, right? Does everybody see the difference in those two things?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so now let's get into the fun stuff. So pull this out. So I have some clips from our game at GPI. And I'm going to go through them, and I kind of want you guys to give me some things that you see, concepts that we've talked about, and how we can support plays, right? Okay, so going back to this play here, what do we see? What do we see? Is this a transition off of forecheck?
I feel like we had possession of the puck and then we lost it, and then we kind of ended up forechecking off of that.
Yeah, so right here, right? We are seeing them collapse in the middle, right? So how would we go about in a calculated way making these guys shift to give these guys openings? Where do I need to get the puck?
Lando should either like keep skating, or I feel like it's risky. It depends on that high guy, but if he stalls a little bit more, he could pass back up to the defense.
Right? So either I need to get that puck here or I need to get that puck here, right? These are where the space are. This is where the space is. but also this is where that defense is going to have to shift. If I put this puck back to here, this guy stops, this guy now gets puck focused here. Maybe it goes to him and this guy steps into this space here and we move that puck across, right? Instead, what we get here is we kind of try to force that play. And this is what I'm saying about trying to make quick plays versus making smart plays. We don't need to force that puck. We have possession. Possession is the most important thing in hockey, right? We're not on transition. So all these guys are playing defense and they all know where these guys are. They're marked up. Now, the way that we can move it down here is either he skates it or what's our second option? If he's not going to skate it down low, what needs to happen?
You could like rim it lightly. I feel like if he kind of like throws out the corner or something, I don't know who that middle guy is, but he would be the first to the puck.
So
The opposite corner.
the thing that we need to think about, right, is not so much what the puck carrier is doing, but what these guys are doing off the puck. These guys open right now? Maybe,
No.
maybe a little bit here, but not really, because by the time I get a backhand pass 40 feet over, this guy's going to step on it and he's going to take that puck the other way. This guy's also tracking him back to the net. So our guys are not in a spot where they're going to get that puck uncontested. So immediately, if I'm this guy, and I know that possession is important, I'm going to move my feet down below the goal line and be an option here. I'm going to continue. Now we can either use a direct or an area pass to move that puck into this space. As soon as that puck gets into this space, what's this guy have to do? Turn and go engage. This guy has to turn and watch. As soon as all these players are turning to watch this guy with the puck down here, now this guy floats into space. Now this guy floats into the high slot. Now we have options where everyone's facing puck carrier here, and we have a visual of where the space is, and they do not, right? So again, recognizing where that possession versus quick is very important. And the good rule of thumb is if it's not off of a transition play, aka I'm not creating a turnover off of the forecheck, I'm holding onto the puck and I'm waiting for options that are good, right? I don't need to force. Okay, next clip. Okay, ozone draw. Good pinch here. And we create the turnover. Okay. Now, we've created a turnover off of a forecheck because our defenseman pinched. What's the mindset?
Look for the open guy.
Find an open guy quick, get pucks to the net, right? Get pucks into this danger zone. So immediately you can see this guy are in bad positions because they went from offense to now they're on defense and they have to work their way back. So we want to take advantage of that transition. I'm going to move that puck into this space, right? This guy is going to find open space and try to get down low underneath that defender. See if we do it, right? Good, good. And it creates a good chance at the net, right? Now, obviously, we don't score on this, but this is a grade A opportunity. And again, it happens because we recognize quick transition. How do I find an open guy quickly? And then how do I get pucks and bodies to the net to make a play? Any questions on that?
No, I think that shows pretty well how like when it's like a transition from defense to offense, we should just like be more aggressive and attack quicker.
Because you see it, right? You see how much space there is because of how much that team is anticipating that they're playing offense.
Yeah.
Right? It's really, really important. So we go dump in here, right? Now, a little bit lackluster with these, but that's okay, right? We have possession of the puck. If my guy is getting possession of the puck here, what are these players' job? Support, right? This is not a turnover off of forecheck, right? As soon as he beats this guy and he gets possession of the puck, we are not on the forecheck anymore. We're on offense. So now it's a possession play. So if I'm max here, I'm going to go low below the goal line. And now, because you can see how they're already structuring their D zone, right? Where did they put the puck? Or where did they put their bodies?
In the middle.
All on top of this, right? They're condensing their D zone structure to create congestion in this area. So if I'm this player, I'm recognizing that and I'm going behind the net. It's a quick pass here. As soon as I get that pass, these guys have to shift. These guys have to shift. And in that shift, like in this example, our defense just changed, but our defense could step into spots. This guy can step into a spot. This guy can find space, right? But we want to get that shift. Instead, we throw it to the middle, right? And it's an easy transition because we're throwing it into their D zone coverage, right? So that's a situation where we want to make that job easy for that puck carrier, give him an option, and go. Right now, after that, you see here when they go to break out, we create a turnover. As soon as we create a turnover, you can already see these guys are caught in transition. They're not defensively aware. We have a guy wide open here. Immediately, I'm taking advantage of that and I'm getting pucks to that danger zone and making a play. Again, doesn't result in a goal, but it's a good opportunity for us to do that. Okay, now this is an example of here where we move that puck north-south. We see that these guys are all focused on puck carrier. Now, as that puck comes up here, what shifts? Eyes all have to go where? You can see very clearly all 5 dark jerseys are staring here, right? As soon as that happens, we go on the attack, right? We have net front, and this is already a grade A opportunity if I put the puck here. Instead, we do a little dipsy doodle. This guy's swimming. See ya. And it's a good opportunity at the net. And again, these are just examples. Like you're not going to get goals on all of these, but we want to maximize how many opportunities we're getting in games. We want to make sure that we're focused on how do I attack? What situation am I in? Do I need to get the puck east, west, north, south, or am I on a quick attack off of forecheck? Okay, so what do we see on this play? Do we have possession?
Yeah, Gavin kind of like takes space.
Right.
Right.
So
Moves his feet in space.
yep, right. So immediately we create a turnover, we get the puck. This is the first option so that we can get some space and we hit this shot. But because they have 3 guys, right, we hold off. And now this transitions to a possession play, right? So now this is no longer a quick transition forecheck attack. This is a possession-based attack. We're going to hold on to that puck, and you can see as we shift over, right? We find space because all these guys are puck focused and they're losing their coverage, right? So because we took that ice and we got patient here, this guy's wide open for a play, right? Don't back out of that, stay in that soft space, and we go on the attack. Again, execution not perfect, but we see how open we can get guys by just having that D structure have to shift. As soon as that D structure shifts, space will open up and we go on the attack, right? And it really comes down to what you're doing off the puck when Gavin's going around the net. Are you taking advantage of that D structure shifting and finding that soft open ice in the slot? Or are you standing there and kind of watching and waiting and seeing what happens? If you're watching and waiting and seeing what happens, don't anticipate getting the puck very often. You have to be engaged in the play. I'm watching that play develop. I'm anticipating where it's going, and then I'm executing when the time comes that it's on my stick. Okay, so puck goes off our hand here. Now, when we look at this play here, Am I in possession or am I creating a turnover off forecheck?
Possession.
Possession, right? So I need to recognize where the space is. So immediately it's a 3-on-2 bad gap. We have all this space. I'm going to try to take that puck into this area, right? I want to hold on to that puck. And this is what we're talking about when we say we have to get out of the mindset that we have to make plays right away, right? So we get that puck here. Instead, I think we throw it at the net. I would rather us hold on to it, take ice into this space. This guy can bounce out, this guy can come underneath, and now we have multiple options, right? If it becomes apparent that that puck is going to go to the net, then our underneath route gets into a screen. This guy opens up for a one-timer. And again, we've created offensive options by taking that space and moving off the puck, right? Not rushing to make the quickest play available, right? We get time and space, take advantage of it every time. And again, these concepts you're going to see shift to shift all the time, right? These are not things that just happen once in a blue moon. These are really, really easy reads once you get in the habit of trying to look for them and find them. Okay, so we get on the forecheck here. We create a turnover. What do I want to do if I'm creating a turnover here?
If you create a turnover, you want to like attack quick
You
because
want
that's when they're in transition.
you want to attack quick, right? They created a turnover. This guy's up ice. This guy's slow on the breakout, so he's available. I want to attack the middle of the ice, right? Now, with that comes that these two guys have to work to be an option for this guy and spread out that defense. Okay, so you see here, as that puck is coming up the wall, or sorry, coming through the middle, and we recognize this, immediately I know my guy is going to get that puck. I'm from here getting into a position where I can be a pass option. From here, getting into a position that I'm a pass option. Instead, I continue to come back to the puck, right? We see that even as Hayden, I think that's Hayden, whoever's getting the puck right here, we can see how low we are. We still continue to skate for a second, 2 more seconds, and now we're jamming him up and we're all in the same place. We're all on top of each other. Anticipate that he has the puck, move into space, move into space. Now we can go on the attack, right? And then last but not least, we do not make this a one-on-one if we don't need to, right? We don't have to make that a one-on-one. Instead, if I come into this space here and I have an option here, now we have 2-on-1s, we have layers to our attack versus now it's a one-on-one. If he gets beat, we're cooked. And that's what ends up happening. It's a quick transition the other direction, right? The other option that you always have if you get jammed up in that, right? If I get jammed up in this space here, is a quick little area pass down low. We get on the forecheck, we go get it back, and then we set up again, right? It's really just a matter of possession and holding on to the puck. How do we maintain possession? How do we do that in a way that supports each other? And how do I get to a space that I can help that puck carrier make better decisions and not have to engage one-on-one play? Okay, last one here. Again, off of offensive zone draw. Now, this is an example of a situation where we get possession. It's not really off of forecheck. They're still pretty structurally sound, right? But what Hayden does here is he starts to move that puck north to south, right? What we do a really good job of here is that we see that movement north south and we find open space in here, right? Again, when I want to move that puck with my feet and it's on my stick, everybody has to watch you. And in that transition, when they're watching you, space is going to open up. Boom. We recognize that quickly. We have poise. We move it out to there. And then we attack the net. Okay. Now what is this an example of here?
Uh,
Is this a possession play or a quick transition play?
I would say it's more of a possession play. They're kind of pretty structured.
Right? They're set up. We have possession here with nobody on us, right? So immediately this guy does a great job of getting low and being an option. Where we go wrong is we get this puck, and instead of continuing to move down the wall and again create that defensive structure shift, we try to force that quick play. And that's what I'm saying we need to get away from. We need to get into that patience and poise. We need to hold that puck and we need to find a way to shift that structure to give our guys time and space to move into that opening here, right? Because I'm here and I'm closed off to this way, this guy can stay aggressive to the outside. This guy can mark up him, and it doesn't give this guy time and space to get into this area, right? And you see it here. We try to force that quick play. Even if he gets that puck in this spot, he's not really a threat at the net, right? And it's just a recognition of I have time and space. I want to move my feet to create structure shift. The way I do that is I recognize with a shoulder check, I have space behind the net. I'm going to start to move up the wall. And now we get on the attack into finding those spots and we get there. Instead, it's a quick pop, turnover, right? And an exit. Okay. Any questions on anything that we went over? I went a little longer than I anticipated. Sorry about that.
No, I think covered pretty well.
Okay, cool. Well, if you have questions and you're too scared to ask them on a public setting, you just message me on TeamSnap and I can answer anything. If you want individual stuff, reach out to me. And then let me look what next week's concept is. If you have recommendations or requests on what our video sessions are going to be over, just let me know. Next Tuesday, we're going to be going over power play system and then making reads and creating some set plays.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, no problem. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you, Zealand.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.